Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men follow reader. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
We're back at you in Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. I'm here with Councilors Nelly Vielma, who's running up for re-election, and also in the runoff next week.
Yes.
And she's City Council District 5, no?
Correct. City Council District 5. That's right.
How are we doing? Number one, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, good, thank you. Just at home. I did a lot of curbside delivery for my family. Priscilla and I baked all day so that we could go and deliver to my mom and my in-laws and different people. So that's what we did for Thanksgiving. But yeah, now back on the run-up, and we've been there. Yesterday was raining, but we were out there, trying to get the people out to vote. And today as well. Today we had great weather, so we're trying to push, people to realize that we're back in business again, trying to get the final vote out. And we need your help to call people and text people and let them know that it's time to go out and vote. We want to hear their voice, for representation. I know we had a lot of turnout, with the general election, but currently the numbers are slow, so we really need the people to go out and vote so that their democratic, process and their voice can actually be heard.
Councilor, where are the voting places at? I know the library here in Colton is one of them.
Yes, one of the things we wanted to, and I did make that motion to try to improve the curbside, because last time there was long lines at the firefighters, and sometimes, people will get disenchanted and leave. So we have, in my district at least, we have 3 curbside solutions. So one of them is, of course, the firefighters on Delmar. The second option is here at the library at Carlton Road, the Joe Guerra Library. And then the third one is at the Unitrade. It's also a curbside solution. So everybody like on that area on Lakeside or for the South or Escondido, anybody in Alexander, it might be easier for them to just go through Unitrade and do the curbside solutions there.
Absolutely. And number one, curbside solution is actually doing pretty good.
Yes.
I usually take my mom to go vote.
Mm-hmm.
And both times, one, she fell and she broke her wrist.
Oh, Lord.
And then she fell again and ended up fracturing her ulna. Yeah, her ulna. And so we were there, curbside, and so it was very easy. It was done well.
Mm-hmm.
So the elections office is doing a good job.
Yes, and I think that's something that they should continue to implement. For me, as a working mother, I saw a lot of moms that they had the kids, they were, eating their snack after school and they still got to go vote, curbside. So that is always something great. And they were gracious. I remember once we had already finished the voting side and my daughter had not yet, voted. So we were there, we were probably about the last ones and they still stayed. There were still people behind us, so they stayed even beyond. So I want to thank the Webb County Elections because they're really going above and beyond trying to get the people's vote, recorded. So that's good.
No, they've done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Diaz has done a great job with the elections office.
Yes.
I think he's elevated the step up a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah, the more technology we get, the better and get there faster. One of the good news that I have too, I got endorsed both by George Beckelheimer, who's my neighbor, and also my ex-brother, and also by Mr. Marina, by Celestino Marina. So both of them have endorsed me, and of course we ask for all of the supporters that that voted either for me or for George or Celestino to come out and vote and let your voice be heard. We are very congruent in a lot of the ideals that we have and a lot of the issues that we see where the city needs to grow, what changes we need to do, both in infrastructure and also with small businesses. We all own small businesses. We know what it is to be checking, payroll to payroll and paying the bills and budgeting and with all the concerns that we have right now with COVID, I think that we are, in a lot of areas of ideas and in agreement. and we have one common purpose, the growth of our city and the improvement of our city as a whole. So I was very humbled and very thankful to both of them for granting me their trust, and I hope to not disappoint them, and hopefully we get the people to come out and vote, continue the progress.
But that's good news that they came out and supported you.
Yes.
And you're correct. Small businesses have been taking a toll this past year. Many have closed down, and we need to do something about it. We need to help those that are still alive.
Correct.
And I think the whole community has to come together.
That's correct.
Now I saw a lot of advertisement from our governor and from our congressman. It's Small Business Saturday or something like that we're calling it. But I think it should be small business all the time. So, because a lot of people forget, especially here in Laredo, small businesses are the ones that help out for the Pony League and the Little League, and that's buy shirts, and they're the first ones that are gonna help you out because they know that they're from the community and are part of Laredo, So, but a lot of them have been hurt pretty bad.
Yes. I did have a meeting with the Laredo Chamber of Commerce, and that's one of the things I was asking for them. And we've done this in the past, the last couple of years. I remember when we used to have the skating at the arena.
Sure.
I started the small business to be there displaying their goodies, so that when you will take your kids to go and skate, you will have an opportunity to buy your Christmas presents. And so that's what we want to do. Like every weekend, they're supposed to be having different areas of businesses to be featured by the small business development there with the chamber. And so that's one of the issues that we want to move forward. I did meet also with Sandra Rocha Taylor, and so we're trying to push some of the businesses there, San Bernardo, Avenida San Bernardo as well, and some of the areas over here, boutiques and other stores on Del Mar, so that we can continue to promote them. And it's important because currently the biggest issue also, that not only COVID, but the biggest issue for us on the border is the closure of our bridges. That a lot of our businesses, our malls, our stores depend on that Mexican purchasing power, right? So we're hurting currently, and I think that, of course, part of the problem is at a very high political level, right? I think looking at the whole information, AMLO, of course, doesn't want to open because it's great business for Mexico. They already have all of the shoppers that they got for the summer, for the vacations, for the back to school, for the Halloween costumes that they used to come and buy here. And now they even hit us with our Black Friday, so what's next? Christmas, and then Dia de los Reyes. So Mexico keeps on making money, and our businesses are stuck here. So one of the things that I'm proposing and I will be working on their next meeting is to have rapid testing. And it is an investment. It's something that we've been waiting for, and hopefully price-wise it's better nowadays. But we do need the rapid testing so that we can be able to reopen our bridges, and we need to have a solid plan so that Washington, many times when we go to Washington legislative session trips, or even Austin, you have legislators that are in charge of border security or border issues, and they haven't been to the border, yet they're making decisions about us without really knowing what we need and what's hurting here. So what I had asked is, when we sent that letter with the congressman, to send a video so that they could see our businesses are dying downtown, and also by them closing several lanes at the bridge, that doesn't help the social distancing that we need. You have the people crowded, you have the people waiting for hours. Like, how dumb can that be? You're just trying to say don't come to the US, but there's still that synergy between our cities. The people are still gonna have to come because they work here or live here. And so let's just use more common sense as to why are you even closing the lanes if it's not necessary. We want to have that flow. Just we were talking about at a cash register, right?
Right,
Why would you
true.
close the register so that you can have people stuck there in line and have more chances of getting COVID?
Absolutely,
So
you have to move
it
it,
doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, and I learned that. I remember I was a part chef, just a regular chef. I was not even a sous chef yet. And my chef comes out and he goes, "See that table?" I goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "They've been there for half an hour. They should have already had their food." He goes, if they don't have their food within 15 minutes."
Yeah, it's a good service.
And no, he wasn't even thinking about service. He was thinking about That's 15 minutes longer that we cannot get another customer inside that table to feed them. So I said, so I was like, and ever since then, every time he told me that, hey, let's move.
Yes. Well, I worked at McDonald's when I was in college, so you can't be standing idle for long. You have to move around. So that's helped me in my small business. I'm like, orale, what do we have to do? And we have to move fast.
I worked in Wendy's, the one right here, all through high school. That's where I was at. You know, and it's in Ohio because I'll give the hamburgers to the homeless. We had some homeless days in Ohio. They're going to go to the trash or to the homeless. See, that's just the way it is. What do you see the hardest thing that's going to be for Laredo community, besides the small business shutting up? How can we salvage that? What's your idea? How would you look at that?
Well, the good thing that we have coming is, there's several areas of development that are coming. So the bad thing that we have is the 26 million that we're under our budget. So we have to be very creative as to how we're going to make up for that, one of the good indicators that I saw is that the bridges are starting to get back, some of that commercial flow that they had. So where we need to invest, of course, is the infrastructure, and part of what we need to change, and this has been the last couple of times that we've gone to Austin, they have to stop doing the formula for giving monies for infrastructure based on population. We're never going to compete with Houston or with Dallas, right? But if they put part of that formula, the volume that we have in trucking, the volume that we have in commercial trucks, then I'm sure that we can get that money and be able to provide that influx, that we need, so that the congested area will be eliminated and be able to finish off the Achar, Ruthinger, and the Vallecillo roads, which is something that's going to help us there in that infrastructure. We want to be competitive, so that people don't have to go to another port of entry, and we continue to thrive as number one land port. And if you look at it logistically and even in numbers, how have we been able to be the number one inland port? Because of where we're located, right? Geographically, we have that blessing. And so we're only second to Long Beach, and then it's New York. Like, hello, those are big cities, and why do we need to compete is those numbers and the allocations of numbers. And we're getting there with the Loop 20. We were able to change the allocation of funding, and that's something, I'm part of the MPO, which is also for infrastructure and transportation. And so in working with TxDOT and learning their allocation of monies, and for us having money for shovel-ready projects, we were able to trim down the amount of years that it was going to take for us to have the Loop 20 overpasses, which is what we want, so that could be a highway, right? We had delays because of the Dannemont fiasco and having to restart all that. But now with this new funding, we will see within the next 4 years, you're going to start seeing the Loop 20 has been already allocated, which means funded. The money has been already TxDOT said 220 mil is coming to Laredo, which is awesome. Like, we would have expected that in 20 years, but now we were able to shrink that waiting period. So you're going to see the overpasses for the airport, for Del Mar, for I think Jackman is also getting one for Shiloh, and this is all going to help to connect and have that overpass that we need. The thing that is going to help, at least in my district, and I think the city as a whole, on revamping the economy, because right now a lot of our businesses are hurting, a lot of our restaurants and service providers. What I'm very, very hopeful is the development of the master plan for the airport. Not only are we getting an addition, like an extra wing to the airport, which is part of the CARES money, we decided to invest it in that. And that extra wing is going to help us to change the way that we do the TSA, the check-in when you go in, the inspection. But also we're going to be able to change the restaurant area, hopefully kind of like a food court. But the second part to it is also the master plan around the airport. You see all those empty lots that we're always like, what are you using all that for? That belongs to FAA and it's under FAA rules. We can't just do whatever we want to there. So it's going to be aviation support, and other adjacent businesses. And so about a month ago or so, we were able to choose the people that were selected by the committees. and the city council voted on this aviation company, which Henry Cisneros happens to be one of their partners or their spokesperson that came down to Laredo. So I have very high hopes that developing that area, attracting investors to the city, is going to revamp our economy. Because, I mean, if you start seeing all those businesses pop up, well, guess what? All the secondary businesses, the restaurants, the service providers are going to get that, fuel of people coming in and more customers coming in. And so that's my biggest hope for my district, to develop that master plan, which was one of my agenda items about 2 years ago, and finally it's coming to fruition, to see the green light coming. That's a big, a big promise that we have. The other thing that I'm very, very hopeful for is the 4A, 4B taxation transition, okay? When we talk about, and we hear a lot of complaining about, well, nos está comiendo el mandado, the valley is doing this and that, or the valley or San Antonio, they give you money, they give you incentives as a business. And this comes from this 4A, 4B taxation, which is a very different type of tax that we don't have here, right? So what we have is a sports venue. And we were able to vote, and one of my items was to pay off that debt. So after 20 years or so owing the sports arena and the unit trade, about 2 months ago, finally we paid it. We put it in a trust account, so that's paid for. And that, we're hoping that with this new legislative session, that we'll be able to transition at least half of that into the 4A, 4B, which is also going to help us to bring in new businesses and job training, which is very much needed. So that's my hope for us to revamp the economy as well.
So those are all great moves. Those are all great moves that are needed here. Because that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need, and we need to kickstart Laredo. We need like a reset button. Dude, we have to do something, all over the place. That's you see it with a bunch of people that are saying, no, pues ya con eso, I'd rather go somewhere else. Ya con eso, and so it's kind of, heartbreaking when you start seeing these people just leave. And we have to you have to put them back together, put those puzzles back together.
Yeah.
Understandably, there's some businesses that are going to falter, but maybe they would have faltered anyway. But we need to understand that we need to kind of take care of the small businesses. If somebody has an idea, a dream, they say, I'm going to open up this business, I think we all can help that person alleviate and kind of do some seminars and stuff, or maybe they can start pushing it forward. And I think that's what we need to do. I think we need to start going together. You know what? Will this work with me? How about you try it? This works with me over here. How about you try it?
Yeah. Well, we have the Mile 1, which is an incubator for small businesses. And one of the things that I started, and this was probably like 3 years ago, is we started on historically, it was the Women's History Month. It was in March. So we called it Women Entrepreneurs Rock. But it's open for men and women, and that's what we've been doing, bringing in speakers, bringing in trainings, and also working very closely both with LC, Economic Development, with the Chamber, and with the TAMU Small Business Development Center. And I will tell you, Paul, as an attorney, I do a lot of these, top investor visas and people that come in to try to start up their business. And so part of that is coming up with their business plan, making the projections, doing the market analysis, seeing how am I gonna fare if I do this, like how's it gonna work out. And so that's part of where we need to go back to that drawing board. And us, even as small businesses, that's what I'm doing. I'm going back and saying, okay, out of all this type of caseload that I've had, which are the ones that have better, projection, and what can I do during this downtime? I'm working on my policies and procedures. I'm streamlining the business, efficiencies, and I'm deciding, okay, sabes que this type of case, I'm not going to do that, or this is the new route that we're going to take. And so I do encourage a lot of the small business owners to get the free services that we might have out there, either from LC or from TAMI. We have also the LEDC, also they give you free advice. They have all these things at their fingertips where they can help you do your business plan, recreate and reinvent your own wheel, as you will. It's kind of thinking outside the box. If I was a mom and pop shop and I sell stuff, well, how do I get to being, e-commerce? How do I create my catalog, and what else do I need to make it to the next level? Because that's where we're all going. The businesses are going more to e-market. So we need to, push those that haven't gotten there to help them get to that goal as well. So definitely more trainings. We will continue to push on that. But avail yourselves of the Small Business Development Center.
Sure. And maybe we should see when we can get a calendar for the small businesses to know that it's going on.
Sure.
Have it open for them to say, okay, you know what? Let's all go over here to this one. Let's all support this one. And once people start understanding it, people will start growing. And and I think that's what needs to be happening now. So if you have a small business, please take advantage of it. And call your counselor. Give me a call if you need to. 956-401-4868. We'll get together. We'll figure out a way, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help each other get past this and continue moving forward. We're all from Laredo. She's from Laredo. I'm from Laredo. We came back to Laredo because of Laredo.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be afraid of moving it forward.
And that's important what you say about centralizing information, because even with all these restrictions with COVID, I felt like as a business owner, we don't want you to be lost or having to pay a notary public or an attorney just to fill out, like when I did the training for the bars to associate with restaurants so they could reopen. I thought, like, here is the information at your fingertips. Like, I made like 20-50 copies for each meeting. And what I asked from the legal department was, like, put it in one single place in the webpage of the city, where if I'm a business owner, no tengo que andar buscando and getting all lost, like, what do I need to do? Just one. So what you're saying is good. I'm gonna ask from both the Texas Development Council and the Small Business Development, LEDC and LC, maybe they have things coming up so that we can also, in the chamber, we can all put them centralize their Small Business Resource Center as we're putting the other information. And that's where we have, like, whatever we get from the governor for small business and stuff like that. A lot of trainings are coming up from the governor's
Absolutely,
office.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like we've talked about before, I think everybody went in there, got hit hard, put fear in everybody's, and because the fear's still out there. And boom, those se asustaron. Everybody got scared. Some of them snapped out of it after a while and said, let's wake up, let's get moving. Others are still off asleep. And what happens is, for those that woke up and are actually saying, let's get this done, that are their leaders, are now fighting to catch up in time. And you all are doing a good job. You all are doing a good job. We're moving it forward. And it changes, it takes that one sense, you know what, I messed up, but these people over here need me, let's get it done. And that's what needs to happen. But I think it's a communal effort. Everybody has to do it, everybody. And the small businesses come in, get together, and you know what, this is what we need to do over here. You know what, police, this is what's going on with some of these people that are not, how can I put it, not following the mandate to the mass or what have you. This is, maybe if you guys tried this idea, it's a lot better to salvage the business than if you guys just go in there with a SWAT team, for a mask, So I think everybody now needs to put their ears open and say, let's come down to the table, let's start working together, because this is our city. All of us live here.
Yeah, and a prime example, and I know that, for example, with the bar and grills, businesses, it's easier for us to say, well, the numbers came up because of the bars. But no, that's the scapegoat, if you will, because a lot of them have been very responsible. I've had a few meetings even right before the bars were closed. I met with other bar owners, and I was very happily, surprised to see what the extent of steps they took to even prevent. Like, some of them haven't had any issues. Why? Because they did everything to the T, and then they called the city department. So I'm like, okay, come, walk through with me. What am I missing? Oh, you should put another sign here, or you should put another sanitizing station here, or whatever was needed. And ergo, you don't have any problems with the city. So I told them, and I told management, maybe you should do an educational video with these businesses, and one of them was AJ's. Do an educational business video with them, because, like, for me, I'm very visual. I need to see it, and ya se me queda ahí, right? So it's better if they do something like that and prevent and try to help others And that way we're all on the same page, you know. Even the enforcer officers, sometimes we're not on the same page as to the changes on the emergency order. And so, and for some businesses, it had been kind of like harassment, you know, and it shouldn't be that way. We're there to help out the businesses. Small businesses are the heart of the city. You know, that's how a lot of businesses support not only themselves, their families, but all of the families that emanate from them. I mean, I can tell you just my small business, we have 14 families that are fed through there. So it's important, you know, and how that trickles down to the other families that we serve as well. You know, each one of us has all that rippling effect that we need to be looking out for. And so it's more of it takes a whole village, you know, to get it working back again. But I think the important thing, like you were saying right now, some people got stuck and didn't see through, or todavía, you know, they're stuck. And I think there's a psychological part to it, and then there's the business sense or the business info, right? And so that's where we all need to help out, because you more than anything know your friends, you know. And then if you see somebody that's still going through anxiousness or fear or has maybe gone through COVID or something, then we need to reach out and get the help that they need.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, that's basically what this has become, a beacon of that. You know, people have called and I don't mind. You know, this we've been here for a long time, and a lot of the students have gone out there in the workforce in many different areas, and they have their own families, and they call, hey, this is happening over here, and that's, you know, that's just part of what we've been here for that. You know, I've been here 30 years, you know. So when you see that, we do need to help that, and I understand it was a fight. I've been in plenty of them, and when you go up there and you're facing somebody that's going to take your head off, and the bell rings, some people freeze, and some people go out there and do what they have to do. And you know, so, you know, we saw an excellent example yesterday with that fight with that. You know, you had Mike Tyson with Roy Jones yesterday, but you also had the basketball player Jones or something, Johns, and he fought some guy named Paul that was just a YouTube sensation, and he said, I'll fight you. And the basketball player from NBA went in there and out of his league, basketball to boxing, and lo noqueó. I mean, the guy was on the canvas. You know, you see him all over the place. And I saw the Tyson one. I didn't really worry about the other one, and today they were talking about it, and I go, you have to understand your niche. If you're the best one here, then let's work with you to get better and move forward. You know?
Yeah, you have to.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a petroleum engineer. I'm not going to go tell you go dig over here, because I couldn't tell you what's what or what. You know?
Yeah, build your niche.
You know, so we have to get those people that are good at that area and say, you know what do we need? Help us out. Let's produce it.
Yeah, definitely. That's always needed, and identifying that and reaching out for help, because mucha gente también, you're, you know, it might be, you know, you're afraid to ask for help, or you don't want to admit, like, I need help, but now is the time to reach out and to get that help that we need from whatever resources that we may have in the city.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I just I hope that we can get a lot of people out to come and vote. You know, right now it's more of a grassroots efforts, because we don't have the presidential race. So a lot of people think, like, yeah, they thought I had won. A lot of people were congratulating me. I'm like, no, we got to 44.27%, and we needed 50% plus one vote. So, but that gives me a lot of support, you know, to know that I still had that high percentage. But we need you to come out and vote again, so that your voice can be heard. And what you can help is by sharing, you know, postings, by calling your family and friends, by making sure that they go out to vote, or taking them to vote if they need a ride. But this is what it's called, you know, the grassroots time, and that's what we need to get the people to really go out and vote. Because sometimes they think, like, no, yeah, you know, you got it made, you know, with that percentage that it's done. But sometimes it doesn't turn out that way if the people don't go back and vote. You know, you want to end up with whoever you want to represent you, and you need to make sure to go out and vote, so that your decision can be the one that is the final one.
Absolutely. Folks, remember, early voting, it ends on Friday, right?
Well,
Sunday?
it's until December the 8th, and then we have 3 days off.
Until the 12th.
So we have this whole week, it's going to be until 8 p.m., And then Saturday and Sunday, we still have voting until 6 p.m. Those 2 days. And then we have until December the 8th. And the election day will be December 12th.
Absolutely. So remember, folks, you can go to any of the different areas. Take advantage if you can bring your mom or your dad, and you don't have to get them off curbsides there.
Mhm.
So and if you need help, if you need people to come pick you up, I'm pretty sure we can arrange
Yes,
it.
yes, we do. We do have the number there, or you can call 956-725-5500. And I don't remember the other one, but we have it on our website. Vote and number 4, votefornelly.com. And so that's what we asked you to do to help us out. One thing I do want to clarify from my opponent said in your last interview about nepotism, and I do want to clarify that my brother, who is actually supervised by his brother, my brother works at the sheriff's department, and Alex Gutierrez, who is his boss, is Ruben's brother. My brother had worked at El Metro since 2013. He has been in the city since 2013, which was way before I started with the city. So there's no nepotism there when you have so many years with the city. But I just like to clarify, the truth of the matter, and there's no need for that. I think that people need to look at the record, look what I have been able to do for the constituents and for the district. Look at all the progress that we've done, and look at where we're going. This master plan for the airport, that was something that I promoted, and it was my item. The 4A, 4B, that was something that I promoted, and was my item. I mean, I don't take full credit because, of course, it's a whole council that has to vote for that, but we have to work as a whole, and we have to see what's the best thing coming for the city in the future. The Loop 20 overpasses, that's also something that we worked as a council and also in the MPO committee. And so these are facts, truths, and something that you can double check and see that I'm looking out for the betterment of our community. And it's nothing for me, individually. It's nothing that it's something that I'm going to be trying to do to take any type of advantage. The reason I decided to run for city council was because I was very upset about seeing the corruption and the overspending of tax dollars and the Central Laredo Municipal Management District. So I got fed up, and that's why I decided to run, and I'm still with that same mode of mentality. That's what I want to do. That's what I'll continue to do, and I keep fighting the good fight. And it's just like when I go to court. Like sometimes we might be adversaries, but it's for a goal, and in this case, it's a common goal, and it's something that I want to get more generations involved. I think that one of the things that I saw, as much as we did have more people to go out and vote, I wish we would have had higher numbers of voters. And I think a lot of our young generations need to get involved, need to learn about the charter, need to learn about the democratic process and how they could come to city council and how they can affect change by voicing their opinions, by going out there and speaking. And that's democracy, and that's what we want. I would much rather see our public engaged and us hearing from them and knowing what their needs are and what they want. And that's the true meaning of a democratic process, to hear both sides and to make the best for the people. So
but
come out to vote.
And we need to get people to go out to vote. And what you said right there is we do need to get people educated in how the system works.
Correct.
And I think we need to get people more involved. You can't be a computer warrior there and you never show up. You actually have to do something for the community. And there's some people that you might say, oh, that person's never done anything, and he appears later on, but then you realize that person's been doing more than many other people that have been around.
Correct.
And people know him more because he's been over here on the outside, and we have to recognize all those people that are out there, because there's a lot of leaders in Laredo, plenty of great leaders. And all of them have to come out and say, you know what, let's get our heads together and let's move forward. It's no longer about butting heads.
Correct.
We're one community. We can't butt heads anymore.
Yes.
And we want our city to grow. We want our city to prosper.
Definitely.
And we need to understand that. And I want to thank you for standing up.
Thank you.
And so, folks, and one more thing that I want to do for that I've been doing, because I've been seeing the struggle of many small businesses, is if you need advertisement, just send me your artwork. We'll advertise for you. Let's get it out there. Let's get you going. And if you need to say something about your business and how you started, because there's a lot of great businesses out there. There's a lot of cigar shops. There's some seamsters out there that do great wedding dresses. Come out here and let's show that. Let's show that. Let's show for the people out in Laredo. Some people don't know that you're out there, so let's put out there.
Excellent. That's a great
Okay.
idea. Thank you for your community service.
All right. Until next time. Peace.
God bless. Come out and vote.
For 30 years, Buitrón Academy has produced great fighters, peace officers, firemen, and many great citizens of Laredo. We teach various martial arts, savate, kempo, capoeira, each in their own traditions, trajectory, history, and pedagogy. Buitrón Academy is the first school of savate in the United States, the first capoeira movement in Texas, the first kempo school in Laredo. What will one expect to see at Buitrón Academy? Respect, fellowship, coordination, skill, and self-defense. Buitrón Academy is located at 220 West Hillside Road.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Got a lot of candidates out there, but we all know who the best candidate is.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Quijano, and I am supporting Nelly Vielma. I'm a veteran here in the community, and just recently, because of her, the veteran's been left out, used as pawn, no more. She stepped up to the plate and made it happen, and I'm very grateful for Councilwoman Nelly Vielma doing what she's doing.
She's always based her decision on ethics, morality. She's a lady of integrity, honesty, working hard for the city of Laredo.
Thank you, Laredo.